We had some snow here for the past 2 days, and just like that, it's gone. The sun's coming out, it's 50 degrees, and it's gonna be a beautiful day. And because of that, I have some fencing that I need to do. And today's video is sponsored by PowerFlex, rotational grazing supply farm store. Last winter, I fenced in our 7-acre pasture area with a combination of high tensile wire and woven wire. Now that we've been using it for a full year, there is one thing that I do need to add to it. One of the most important things and responsible things that you could possibly do on your new land is putting in fence. It's one of the most labor-intensive things that you can do. First time a fencing company reached out to me and said, hey, we really love what you're doing, so thank you. This is what they sent me. And this is also what I am working with in this video, what I'm installing. This is underground insulated cable, signage. You know, I'm just trying to look after my people. 12.5 gauge wire, this is high tensile wire. We're gonna be using this, and this is what we use to energize our fencing, what I used all around the property. We're gonna use some of this today as well. Also, I get to bust out the spinning Jenny that I made, so we're gonna be able to use this again. This woven wire is not energized, and we need to add a single wire so that way we can energize this side of the property. Good thing I'm organized. I've got this whole box of fencing. This is all my fencing stuff. The first step is we need to put in these screw-in ring insulators. It has a little slit here so you can slip the wire. And then a screw, and you just screw them in. We're gonna use my story stick that has a measurement of 6 inches from the top of this fence line. So that way it'll be all even all the way around. And I don't have to take out my tape measure every single time. One down, about 40 more to go. The good news is that I don't have to put any posts in the ground today. This is where the high tensile ended. It was all the way around from that barn, all the way around. Ends right here. I could just bury a line or continue it along here, and this is part of the old line that I fixed, or I took out too. So we could go underneath and connect it to right here and continue on. This is gonna be a separate line, and I'll explain that after I start hooking it up. Before we start stretching out some wire, let's talk about today's sponsor, PowerFlex. Some of the tools that PowerFlex carries that I use to rotate my animals are fencing energizers. These are solar powered portable energizers that you can move around. Hey girl, are you pregnant? Are you a child? I don't know, she's looking pretty big there. 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, so that will leave us around the end of February, if she is pregnant. Another tool I use are these step-in posts from PowerFlex. Now these ones do not break. They are more quality, more heavy duty than the ones that you get at your local store. My main energizer is another tool. We're gonna be working on this today. I'm gonna show you how I'm hooking it up. And the single strand poly braid that I purchased a few years ago when we started raising our beef cows. And this is the first thing I purchased from PowerFlex and have since purchased multiple reels of that. Now let's get back to this fence. Now this is a different bullnose insulator. Look at that. All kinds of fun little gadgets when you do fencing. So this is a spare wire. If it's a really long wire, I'd never throw any of these wires away because I've been using them and using them. So we got the bullnose, we got the crimp sleeves. Slip it in on each other. take your crimper and you put it through the little slots and then you hammer it home. There we go. That's a good start. And then we're gonna run the wire, the single wire through this. And we get to use a spinning Jenny today. There we go. So we had to make a few adjustments to this. This is the end. Gotta get it going first. Then you need another crimp. Put this around the insulator. Fish this on this end. And then we're going to put a tensioner on this end so that way we can tighten it as the years go by. So that way we got a tight wire. Okay, so now you slip this end into the tensioner. There's a hole in the tensioner and you just pull it through. You get it to a, you know, not super tight because you really can't pull it tight, but and then you bend it around there and you get your little ratchet and you tighten it. I'm not going to do it super tight, just enough. Maybe like a guitar string or something. Just enough. All right, we're at this end now. This is the other run. This is about 400 feet. That one was maybe 100. Still got those T-posts to take care of also. Can't have this wire touch the T-post. I mean, it's like that spinning Jenny's my farm hand whenever I do this type of work. This is not even the hardest part of doing this. This is actually the fun part. The hardest part is digging that trench and then putting in the post if I need to. That end has the tensioner. It turned out to be a beautiful day. This is fencing weather. Now to connect this wire to the main energizer, we need to bury a line, not super deep, but just enough so I don't hit it with the mower. The next trench is about 30 feet And we got to connect this side of the fence to that long side I just did. But there's still snow on the ground and a portion of that is still frozen. I think that's gonna take me all day. So we're gonna have to wait to trench this line, this 30 feet, and hook that side up when it gets a little bit warmer and the ground, you know, dries out. In the meantime, we can still hook this side up. Now for the underground, this is a double wall insulated cable. There's 2 walls and then the cable. The stuff that you buy, like say at Tractor Supply, is a single wall. It's not as good as this stuff. And then protect it even more, we're gonna install it inside this 1/2-inch pipe. I have a bunch of this stuff for some reason. I like to add these conduit straps. This is 1/2-inch. Just to kind of hold it in place. Makes it look a little bit nicer too. This pipe is also to protect that wire. You know, if I'm gonna edge this or if I have the mower going, I'm not gonna nick the wire at all. It's just added protection for everything. This is just like a poly pipe. Now we gotta feed the wire through this. There's no 90-degree corners, so hopefully it'll slide good. Almost done here. We need enough length here to hook up to the single wire. To connect the hot wire to the new wire, you could add a crimp, or they sell these little things, these bolts with the slit in the middle, so you can just slide it over like this. This is a stainless steel, the wire through the middle. You tighten the bolt. Another reason why to use this instead of a crimp is if you ever need to disconnect this for some reason. A crimp's more permanent. This, all you gotta do is unscrew it. Gotta have the options ready. To make this fence a little bit more nicer, let's make the posts all even. And now we are done. All right, let me show you what we did here. We're hooked up with this line. This line, main energized line, goes underneath, buried in the ground. We're going in the brooder. It comes up all along the wall and comes back down to the energizer. I redid this part to make it a little bit more nicer. You know, they're all coming down together. We got ground. We've got one, this is the existing one, and then this is what I just put in. Let's turn it on. So I'm splitting the property into different zones with our energizer. We have zone 1 was what I did last year. Zone 2 is what I just did right now. And then we're gonna have eventually zone 3, probably zone 4. Say if a tree fell on zone 1, zone 2 I can still energize, because they're not connected. It's not one loop. So that way at all times, something is gonna be energized. Let's test it. Yep, 7.2 kilovolts. We're not done with fencing yet. I still have my woods to do. I mean, that's a whole other thing. Plus I'm currently working on zone 3. of this fencing, and now I have plenty of wire to do that. Thank you PowerFlex for sponsoring this video and for supporting our family farm. And if you guys want a coupon code, I have a 10% off for you guys that I got. Link is in the show notes. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.